Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of Raise Your Profile with Suzanne Langman. Suzanne is a healer, the founder of the Divine Connection. She does a whole lot of other things as well that are absolutely fascinating. But first of all, let us start with how Suzanne came to do what she does today. We were just talking about her story and it's absolutely fascinating. So, Suzanne, tell us a little bit more about how you started doing what you do today.
Was talking about how I had to stick to my path in healing other people and myself, because that was that's my soul journey. And every time I didn't do that, and I come into the corporate world and start working on a level of doing administration, or I was a pedicure, I did every kind of job, but inside the jobs I saw that I had this possibility to help other people. You understand?
Yeah.
So, but then I started also like turning away from it, because I that was my denial. I could not see it all the time, and I got sick again, got more sick. And I think like 2 years ago, even 2 years ago, then I realized, oh yes, this is what I have to do. This is my path. And then all of my traumas and illnesses started to disappear. So things started to get different. Yeah, so that is actually the road I have been doing until now. And I also came across Tantra, where I learned how to live in a total different way. So yeah.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah, Tantra is a form for me. Everybody thinks about Tantra as it is sexual. But actually, the deeper core of Tantra is to really connect to your soul. And then we can ask, well, what is your soul? Your soul is actually your past life and this life. And everything that happens around you is just one state of being. And then if you feel that one state of being, then everything in your life goes effortless. So the whole movie, your whole life just goes on and on and on. Do you understand?
Yeah, it'll be in flow, as we say.
Yes, so that's actually the core of the Tantra. Of course, the sexuality is really an interesting point in this whole thing. But as we all know, that most of our lives are a little bit messed up about sexuality. So there's a big taboo about sexuality. But in essence, we are sexuality. So that's why Tantra has such a pointing towards sexuality, because when we are in our core sexual and have this life force going through us, let's talk about children. How are children born? Because of life force, because of sexuality. And when we cleanse all these taboos, then life starts to flow more and more the way you really want it to flow, because it goes the way in abundance and not in suffering, which most people are in these days, because of the fear of the guilt and the shame.
Yeah, for everything we're suppressing and not allowing to happen.
Yes.
You start suffering. Yeah. Okay. So do you use these Tantra teachings, etc., in your own coaching and healing today?
Yes, what I work mostly with couples these days,
okay,
where I help them to come back in love or separate when they're going into divorce, where I help them to understand how to be in, even when people get divorced, to be in co-creation, and knowing that even that when we are getting sort of separate, it isn't separate, because we have all these experiences together, and we can still love the person for what they are also in the beginning, and have that also when you are going to separate, and not to cut it off, but to just separate in love. So that's what I do with the Tantra, to help to get that flow going, to make it not as a separate thing. And then everything goes easier, and I help couples awake their sexual side of them. So most of the people have still this urge to have sexual in a friction-based situation. But when you are really in tune with the energy and just feel the energy, the flow will happen as it goes. And then all the friction is going to be transmuted into being relaxed. And when we are in a relaxed state, then the energy flows more from one person to the other, and the persons can really feel each other.
Mm-hmm.
And when couples are together for a long time, it goes a little bit like this, because we have our own growth. We always can come back together in a state of love and have this same feeling as we had in the beginning of the relationship. But because of the thought forms and how things should be, it goes separate. But energy is always designed to be together.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Yeah.
So do you think, does that mean it's always possible for a couple to, I mean, obviously you say that they either stay together or they separate. So from what you just said, it sounds like it's always possible to come back to this original feeling or this energy. But then sometimes they would decide to separate. What is the difference? Or how do you know that? Or is it always possible to go back to the original feeling?
It's always possible to go back to the original feeling. But we have to understand that when people come together, there are sort of imprints. There are like exchanges. And when the exchange is finished, then normal state would be that the people go apart, but they still love each other in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
They go apart and they go to another person to have another exchange. But the most of the pain between the people is the old condition. So you did this, and then it comes back and to each other. But that's the mind, because that's an old pattern wants to play out. It's normal to have a fight when you separate.
Mm-hmm.
It's normal to not see each other anymore, don't talk to each other anymore, because I made this thing in my head that I have to cut everything in pieces. But that's an illusion, because everything just flows and it just happens naturally. So when you go away from the other person, then you just say hello. If there's another talk, maybe not, but it just happens in flow, and not like cutting it off. I'll cut you off and I don't see you anymore. You understand?
Yeah, sure. I think people just can't deal with the pain. They don't know how to process it. That's why they decide to cut people off, don't they?
Indeed.
Yeah.
And it's all a form from the past, how our parents did it. Mm-hmm. When you get divorced, mostly the parents also got a divorce. And there's also a playing out from the past to see how is it, how did they experience it, and how am I experiencing it right now. But you can do it in many ways, like really stay in the love and talk to each other, express your feelings, and then it just disappears every time again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So do you help them get past this conditioning from the past as well? And
yes. Yeah.
Okay. How long does it take you to work with someone, with a couple, let's say?
When I work with a couple, mostly it's 4 months, because it needs a development. In the first stages, there are things going on. In the second stage, in the third stage. So it's like a stage process. They come from 0 and go to a 10. And that's mostly 4 months. That's the normal situation. Of course, everybody is different. But mostly I can see it's in a 4-month time. And then also the couple decides to split up. Like the woman comes to me for her feminine, and the masculine, dus the man comes for his masculine side. Because I have both these sides in myself, I can teach every angle of both of them, and then they come for sessions separate. And also when the process is done, it can happen that one of the persons can come for a year to me to actually learn about the soul and how they really come to themselves. That can also be together. The couple can also like have a longer period with me, and because I have all these tools to really set up their live stream back to their soul again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So even if they stay together, they might come to you separately.
Yes.
And just rediscover.
Yes. It's all, and we have to realize it's all energetically, so it's all in energy. So people also want to rediscover their bodies. What is flowing in my body? Why can't I feel my legs? Why do I have so much pain? in my
Yeah.
back or in my head. And when the energy touches the body or it touches from a distance, then the people learn how to see where their blocks are in the body. What are they suppressing? And then it comes out, and then people have their lives back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And actually, for everyone here on this call, I just wanted to say, earlier today and yesterday, we're just testing things out with Suzanne. And I was sharing with her how she has this amazing gift, or I'm not sure what it is, a gift, talent, skill to actually make me feel calmer. I was stressing out about how things were going to go and about other things going on in my life as well. And just from speaking to her for a few minutes, I felt immediately calmer. Do you remember what I told you today? I just felt calmer, and as I said to you, in touch with my body somehow. You know, before we spoke, I was running everything in my head and what I need to do and stressing out. And although I know that's not very effective, this is how we run our lives, right? And that's how we run a relationship as well. And we try to calculate and whatnot. And then just from speaking to you in a few minutes, I just felt in touch with myself again. It's a very fascinating sensation, and I'm sure that's part of what, you know, that's what you're explaining as well. And that's something we don't do every day. A lot of people just live in their heads, right, these days.
Yeah. There's a lot of questioning going on in the mind the whole day. And if we decided to, actually make the choice to not run that show the whole day, it's really a choice, because the mind will always talk. It will never stop. Blah, 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 the whole day. And then it's just decide where I want to be. Do I want to be in my heart, where it's quiet? Or there's still a little bit of pain that I have to look at that, be with that, hear about it, what it is, and then it will go away.
Yeah.
It will neutralize itself. And then the brain and the heart will start talking to each other. And then it starts to cooperate. And then there is lots more abundance and effortless going on in your life.
Yeah.
It's really always the same. And then you see the magic, the mystery of life, instead of the running and being actually a slave to your own mind. That's not good.
That is a very good way to sum it all up. We are also our own minds most of the time, and we're not connected with anything else. I guess that's what creates a disconnect from everything and the lack of flow.
And the brain just needs to be told what to do.
But it doesn't actually come from the brain. It doesn't. So what are the tools that you use when you help people get out of their heads, connect with their hearts? What is a relationship or for their own selves? What are the tools that you use? What are the techniques that you use?
Yeah, I use energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I use energy. I work with we have sort of a center points in our bodies that are connected to the earth, connected to the spirit. And I can see them and I open them. And then I work with those centers. And then all this stuff from the past comes out. It will be shown to the person, to its brain, and it will start to neutralize. And when it neutralizes, all these centers can spin. And then you have this connection to your own spirit, and it starts to flow. So that is my main work. Do you understand a little bit what I say?
Yeah. Okay.
For some people, it's a little bit difficult because they have never felt those things. So I understand that. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Of course. I mean, I've worked with you a little bit before. Do you want to elaborate a bit more, Suzanne, about how it all works? I mean, it's very, very unusual from what say a coach would do through talking and so on and so forth. So
it's like you have to understand that this is the flesh, right? This is our body. But this body, there's everything going through. There's just all this energy. So your whole body is energy. So this is not solid. It just goes in, it goes the other one out. It goes here in, it goes here in. It goes into the earth, also out of your feet. You have to, for example, imagine yourself being a tree. So your roots are in the ground, and these are your leaves. So this is how you breathe. And then you see your lungs, like your lungs are the branches of the tree and the leaves, and it's breathing in and out. And that's what the tree does, breathing in and out, but that's also what the body does, breathing in and out. So all this is energy. So for example, when you are biking somewhere and someone is biking into you, you have an accident. So you can think, oh, just a little bit of breathing and I had an accident. But it goes into everything you feel, goes into your cells, goes into your emotions, goes into all these things in your body, and it gets stuck there. And then later on, you feel like, fuck, I don't feel so good. I feel actually terrible and getting worse and worse. And then it's stuck. So, and then that's actually where it gets stuck in your body, in your cells, everywhere. And then it blocks your energy flow. Is that a little bit clear how it works?
This reminds me of a technique I've used in the past, which is I think it's part of energy psychology as well, called EFT, which involves tapping. I think, Suzanne, we've talked about this as well, maybe. And it's more, I guess, physical, but it's all about unblocking these energy blockages in your nervous system. As well. So I see what you're saying, as in this energy. So with EFT, for example, with trauma, it's considered as energy stuck in your body. So through tapping on different points of your mind and also of your body, you release those energy blockages. So something like that, but the technique is different.
And also that you, if you meet someone, you feel his or her energy. You can also say, I'm just aware of someone. Actually, your energies meet together, and then you get a connection to each other. And that's with everyone. When you are in the big room with a lot of people, when you are connecting sexual with someone, when you have the relationship, you are connected. And when you are connected, you also feel the other. So you learn how to be yourself, but also be in connection with the other person, and learn how that dance works. But if we take over, for example, everything from the other person into us, then we are not ourselves anymore. So that is the balance. That's also learning about how energy works. A lot of people also tell me, when I'm in big groups, I feel depleted. I have so much information coming in.
Yeah.
So that's the energy. It comes to you. Yeah. All this information comes to you. But if we are deciding, well, I need to get myself a little bit boundaries, I'm going to be with myself, I'm going to be in a straight line, then all this information outside doesn't work anymore, and you are with yourself, with your soul, and then you can be everywhere. That's maybe a little bit of example how energy works also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think that something that came to mind just now is I read an article not long ago about people who can feel other people's emotions, and obviously that's called empathy in psychology and so on and so forth. But some people seem to be more attuned or more sensitive to other people's moods, emotions, energy in the room. I mean, I definitely know from myself that when I go to, say, central London, a busy place full of tourists where there's a lot of positivity and happiness going on, my mood transforms completely. I go to a place where there are a lot of people who are not very happy, there's a bit miserable, hard working, my mood is different. So I can definitely feel that energy of the people around me. But do you think that it's something we're born with? Does it vary from person to person, or is it something that you tune into and anybody can develop? I guess that's my question. Is it like somebody just feels the energy around, or is it something that you develop or you can help people develop? And is it something that you're born with, or is it something that you develop? By the way, we have about 9.5 minutes left, but I think that would be perfect. So over to you.
Okay. There are different aspects to that. So one first is to see, when you're born in this life, you take with you all kinds of things from your past life, what you have discovered in your past life. So there are gifts more to the surface that are part of you that want to come out in this life. Those gifts, everybody is telepathic, everybody is a medium, everybody has the gifts.
Okay.
Not everyone has decided in this life to do something with it. So there are people who want to develop it. So we give these trainings for it to develop all this stuff. But there are also people who just want to know themselves, just want to feel themselves and know what it's all about. About this thing about going outside, it can be that in our lives we have decided to absorb everybody's energy. And that can come from the parent, that we are decided to be loyal to the parent and then feel their energy. So when you decide to do it with the parent, it can also be with all these other people that you want to do that with all those other people. So that can be a pattern you have. For example, I can see it in my way. I had periods of time I couldn't even go to the supermarket. I got like insane. So what happened? My energy was way too open to everyone. So I was sucking everybody's energy, feeling everybody. Oh, that one has that, that one has that. Oh, I feel so bad, la la la. I had to learn that it wasn't mine. And I also had to learn that I don't need to do that. I can just be myself, in my center, have my energy a little bit to me instead of everywhere around me. So for example, if there sometimes clients come into my practice and then they fill up the whole room. They are in the room and then you feel like just like they're everywhere. And then I always ask, oh, maybe you can come a little bit to yourself. Oh yeah, that's my problem I always have. I am too much outside and I'm grabbing outside to other people, but I can grab inside of me, inside of my soul, where everything is. So that's actually a way to get back to yourself, is to like really be with you instead of being everywhere around you.
That, as you said, probably relates to your upbringing and parents and you being used to and wanting to be loyal or understanding what's going on, what's happening to you, or trying to please other people, or just be, so, and then that you just probably get into the habit of, or make a decision, like you say, just absorb and feel everybody else's energy. So how do you stop doing that? If somebody watches this and they actually have that, what would you tell them to do? How can you tell the difference between what's yours and what isn't? And how do you stop that? Or how do you come to yourself? Or is that something that comes in the process of you teaching people?
Yes, I have made like a course for 5 days where you can just do that process to come to yourself. The first thing you always have to do is go into your heart. And lots of people don't even know how to go into the heart because they're living here. So the first process is start breathing and pulling yourself in. And that's already a big step to come to yourself. Like meditation. In meditation, you also go to yourself, or you actually maybe not go to yourself, but only to the music. There's another layer to really go within and listen to what's going on inside. And it can take a long time, but within these 5 days, I made this short online course that's very effective for beginners, where you just sit and do the rituals and you start to come to yourself. And in the end of the week, you see how many things were outside of you instead of bringing it back. All these cords to every other people. Who are those people you are interacting with? What is really for you, only for you? And then when that happens, when it's only for you, it gets really quiet. That's also really scary. Then it gets more quiet, but then it wants to go outside. So your energy wants to go outside again, and then people show up, and you have this abundance coming to you. You manifest work, you manifest joy and peace in your life. The rest is all outside. It starts to reflect from the inside out, so it comes back. Do you see the attraction? It's like a how do you call it? They call it in terms of a microcosmic orbit. Actually, what you're doing is go inside and outside, and then it starts to come back to you. Your life starts to come back to you and reflect to you as you are.
As you actually are, and not just absorbing everything and everyone.
Yes, and we have the tendency to say we're always in suffering, we have to process, we have to do that, but that's also an illusion in the head.
Okay.
We can have abundance. Yes, absolutely. If we start to recognize the essence inside who we are to begin with, and that's love. So nothing.
That's beautiful. Okay, so that's all part of the teaching that you have. Do you have like a quick something, like gift to everyone here? A quick thing everybody can do, how to go into your heart?
Yes.
Or
it's very simple. You start breathing. First, you relax yourself a little bit, and you pull your energy. You can do it with your hands. You pull your energy, and you feel like, oh shit, I'm really outside. You can pull it in, and then you just physically put your hand on your heart, and your attention goes only to the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, it doesn't work because you're in the head, but you stay with that. I want to know what's under my hand. What's happening? Do I feel the sternum?
Yeah.
Physically? Do I feel my heart? Where is it? And then you stay with that for maybe a couple of 5 minutes every day. That's the first step to go to your heart. If you do that every day for 5 minutes, go to my heart. Stay with the heart. Feel what's going on. But right now I feel already something. Did you feel something?
Yeah, I did, I think. I don't know if it's listening to your voice or I actually did it myself, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that's the first step. It's really quick and very subtle. For some people, even that can take a long time. That's okay. But it's with everything. Where you put your attention, the energy goes.
Energy goes, yeah. Absolutely.
So, for example, you can stay in your heart, stay in your heart, stay in your heart, stay in your heart. Very nice. But there are other centers in your body that also needs attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
So else you are only in the heart, and then it will get too much here. But it also needs to be sometimes in the brain.
Yeah.
Also needs to be sometimes in the belly. Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. And I think everyone, so if somebody needs more help or has more questions, because we have less than a minute left, how can they contact you? I guess connect with you on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. I have an internet site, a website. I am on YouTube. Just find me there. If you have questions, you can also ask Dea that she can point out to me. So, yes.
Great. Thank you so much for this. This was really amazing. Thank you everyone for joining. I'll post the details, the YouTube, Facebook, and all the links, all the ways in which you connect with Suzanne.
And Dea, thank you so much for the interview. Very beautiful, very good. And
thank you too.
Thank you all for watching. Beautiful people, beautiful sisters.
And enjoy the day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.